Hey, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Count Jinsula, and welcome to another raid guide video. Today I'm going to be covering the grass and fairy type legendary Pokemon TAPU BULU. This Pokemon is actually quite easy compared to the other Alolan legendaries, and the reason for that is of course because it has a plethora of different weaknesses, but of course it also has a double weakness which you should not ignore. I'm going to be going over all of the best counters in today's video, so let's roll the intro and jump right into it. Alrighty, let's dive into TAPU BULU. So this Pokemon actually has some of the highest amount of weaknesses compared to most legendaries, and that is of course because it is a grass and fairy type, both of which do not synergize with each other, meaning that any type that is going to be strong against grass types is going to be effective here, and any typing that is really good against fairy types is also going to be effective. But of course, both of these particular types are weak against one specific type, and that means if you use Pokemon with that typing, you're going to have a double advantage against TAPU BULU. And what typing is this in particular? It is of course going to be poison types. Now the good news here is that there's plenty of Pokemon that have extremely high DPS that have the poison typing, and these particular Pokemon are actually quite easy to get. So let's go over those counters right now. First and foremost, you will want to bring either Mega Gengar or Mega Beedrill because these Pokemon are extremely powerful against TAPU BULU. Both of these Pokemon have poison type attacks, and these are going to dish out a lot of damage while also boosting the poison type attacks of your raid mates. That sort of bonus should not be ignored, especially when it comes to TAPU BULU, because this Pokemon does have quite a lot of defense stats, which means it's going to require a lot of DPS. Now, another really good counter that you could bring aside from these Mega Evolutions is of course Roserade, because Roserade has access to both Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb. This means that this Pokemon is going to dish out a lot of damage, especially because Roserade does have a lot of really high attack stats as well. And if you're lacking in Roserade, then you could also bring regular Gengars that are not Mega. These are really strong because of the high DPS, and then of course because it has Sludge Bomb as a poison type charge attack. And if for some reason you are lacking in both Roserades and Gengars, then you could also go with Toxicroak. It is a very powerful poison type Pokemon, especially for people who are familiar with it in the Go Battle League. You would know that this is one poison type Pokemon that you do not want to sleep on. There's also a lot of other Pokemon that you could bring that have the poison typing, like for example Victory Bell, especially a shadow version of this Pokemon is going to be really strong against TAPU BULU, but of course because it is going to be powerful as a shadow Pokemon as opposed to a regular one, that means you're going to invest a lot more Stardust and a lot more candies into this Pokemon, so I highly suggest you go with either Roserade, Toxicroak, or Gengar because those are going to be more readily available and a lot easier to max out. And as you can see in the infographic, all of these Pokemon are also budget Pokemon because of how easy it is to get these Pokemon as well as getting the candies to max them out. So overall, you have a lot of great options, but these are the Pokemon that are going to deal the most amount of damage against TAPU BULU, and that is of course because all of these Pokemon have really high attack stats and they have the poison typing, which is something that is going to be double effective against TAPU BULU. If you are looking for a perfect IV of this legendary, then you will want one that is 1953, and if it's weather boosted, you will want to look for one that is 2442. Now of course TAPU BULU is weather boosted by both sunny weather and cloudy weather, and both of these weather types are extremely common all across the world, so do expect to come up against a TAPU BULU that is weather boosted quite often, and that is going to be to your advantage because it is also going to boost up your poison types if you are going up against it in cloudy weather, and that is something you should not ignore because weather boosted poison type attacks are just going to nuke down this legendary raid boss. Now even though it does have the unique typing of grass and fairy, it does come with a lot of different weaknesses, which means it's not necessarily going to be that useful in the Master League, but overall this Pokemon is going to be really strong as a raid attacker, especially regarding its grass typing because there's not a whole lot of legendaries with the grass typing, speaking, it's going to be pretty strong up against certain raid bosses that have some kind of weakness to grass types. But in general, it is only going to be on par with Pokemon like Roserade because of its lower attack stats. And I do think this is something that you really need to pay attention to, because Tapu Bulu is a really unique Pokemon, but it's not necessarily going to be one of your strongest Pokemon per se. Therefore, I do not think it is worth investing into, but maybe in the future it will get some kind of better grass type attack, which will actually make it relevant compared to some of the grass types that are already available. But there is one particular Pokemon that if it were to come back into raid battles, Tapu Bulu will be the absolute best Pokemon that you will want to use, and that is of course going to be Palkia. Everything about Tapu Bulu is going to be a direct counter to Palkia, so whenever that raid boss comes out, you will want to make sure you have at least one Tapu Bulu that you can use up against that particular raid boss. But yeah, considering that Tapu Bulu is weak against fire types, flying types, ice types, poison types, and steel types, there's just no way around it. This is not one of those Pokemon that is going to be top tier. Now before I end this video, I want to mention that if you want to duo this Pokemon, it's actually very possible because of the amount of Pokemon that are double strong against this Pokemon. So if you are looking to defeat this boss with the least number of trainers as possible, then make sure you are top loading your team with Mega Evolutions, with poison type attacks, and a whole bunch of poison type Pokemon, and you should be good to go even with just one other trainer. And of course, make sure you and that one other trainer is at least level 40 with any kind of weather boost and friendship bonus. That is going to allow you to two-man this raid boss. But if you are looking to comfortably defeat this boss with the least number of trainers as possible, then I highly suggest you going with a raid group that consists of 3 trainers, and if you want to really be comfortable, then go with 6 trainers that are at least level 35. But yeah, that's pretty much everything with Tapu Bulu. It's pretty straightforward. Because it's a grass type and fairy type, it's going to be double weak against poison types, so just bring your best poison types and you should be good to go. Even some of the Pokemon that I did not mention in this video, like Muck, for example, that's still going to be really strong against this Pokemon. Even compared to some of the fire types and the ice types and flying types and steel types that you could bring, I still suggest going with your best poison types, regardless if you would consider them weak in any way. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that little bell so you stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support this channel in any way, then do consider checking out the links in the description below. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.